edition of my channel, Wider Perspective. So I just came across this sister who you see right beside me as I'm sharing my screen, who goes by the TikTok handle Spiritual Goddess 222 or 222, however you would like to pronounce it. And this here particular TikTok of hers, I found it pretty interesting on behalf of how people who are chosen ones, so to speak, in other words, people who are more into spirituality, more into the most high, have to go through so much adversity, so much persecution while being on the job, and how she feels like due to that alone, jobs are not for the chosen ones, so to speak. For some of you who may want more clarification, well, let me share my screen real quick. Well, at least I'm currently sharing my screen. My apologies. Let me just go ahead and roll the clip right quick.
I don't believe that jobs are for chosen people. And the reason why I say that, the reason why I say jobs are not for chosen people is because when you are chosen and you start a new job, you are always going to run into people, into coworkers that are trying to get you in trouble, that will lie on you, or that will make you feel like you're not included, or the hatred will come, the jealousy will come, um, just drama. It's just always drama every single where you go. Okay, when you are chosen, you are always going to run into these jobs where people are either trying to get you fired for no reason. You are always going to run into people who seem like they are nice to you. They seem like they are cool at first, and then it's like out of nowhere, they do some weird shit to make you feel uncomfortable. And then now you feel like you have to leave that job. You feel like you have to leave that job and look for another job because you have low tolerance in people who are trying to start trouble with you, drama. It's just chaos. It's chaos. Like when you are chosen, you are always going to find yourself always looking for a different job because you are trying to escape drama. Even though drama is everywhere, but when you are chosen, it's like chosen people are not supposed to work. Chosen people are not supposed to work. Like I find myself in weird situations, like the job I have now. I only been at that job for like 4 months. And, when I first started that job, people were nice to me. People would introduce themselves to me. People would make me feel comfortable there. And then it's like out of nowhere, people just started acting weird. Like people would speak to me, people would be nice to me. And then it's like out of nowhere, it's like they would walk right past me and not speak. Or they would do some weird things to make me feel uncomfortable so I wouldn't speak to them. It's just weird. Like it's very weird because it's like you're always going to find yourself, you feel like you're a step ahead, and then it's like you go into these establishments and it's like people just act weird for no fucking reason, or your manager might start acting weird for no reason. You know what I'm saying? It's like no matter where you go, even when you're a peaceful person, no matter where you go, it's like drama or uneasiness always come follow you. But that's why I said that chosen people shouldn't work. Chosen people are not supposed to work because when you are chosen and when you have that light, when you have that shining light, people are always going to start some type of drama or create some type of issue with you all the time.
And I would say one of the reasons why people seem to always start some kind of issue when you all time, anytime you're one of the chosen ones, is it could be due to the simple fact of how your light, speaking of how you mentioned your light as the chosen one, irritates the demons, the darkness inside of those very same types of people. Because let's just face it, mostly all these jobs, there are more toxic people who come to work to make the workplace a very toxic and hostile work environment, as opposed to people who just come to work to do their jobs and go home. Am I right or wrong on behalf of some of my, and I'm referring to my people who just come to work and once again to do your job so you could be able to make ends meet, go home. You come to work to do your job so you can be able to make ends meet, have enough money to get by when to the next pay period and be able to provide for your family and go home. To a lot of people, that's not enough. Those same people are the main ones who, anytime you may be a person that is also quiet, that doesn't bother anybody, you seem to irritate the demons and people. Because I did a video on my other channel, broader perspective pertaining to that, how being quiet triggers people. Don't believe me? Be a person who goes to work, doesn't hardly talk to anybody. I can relate to it because I'm much more of a quiet person to myself, person on my job. And there seems to be more people who don't like me as opposed to people who do like me. Although I'm not going to work to be popular, but on my job, it's like in order for you to fit in and be accepted by the majority of your bosses and co-workers, you have to be a piece of crap person. Meaning you have to be a person who do all you can to stir up drama all the time. You have to be the type of person who has to go out of your way to be mean towards people, a person who thinks your stuff doesn't stink. One of those types of people. In order for the majority of people to accept you, to like you, and on behalf of how she was saying how people could do all they can to try to sabotage. I'm trying to say sabotage you on your job. My apologies. One example is, and this is on behalf of my people who have a habit, a bad habit of not only smoking cigarettes, taking breaks, cigarette breaks on the job, but going with certain coworkers and going on break with them, the very same coworkers, and always having a bad habit of gossiping about other people on the job, from other coworkers to bosses. Now, be mindful while you're doing all you can to gossip about certain other coworkers or supervisors, not supervisors, managers. That same coworker who you may think has your best interest, who you may think you could be so buddy with, while you're doing all that gossiping, because on the sly, and pay close attention to this, have their phone on record, and before you know it, right after barely an hour after you may leave either your 15-minute break or your lunch break, you may get called to the side by one of those very same bosses, who was gossiping about. And that one of those very same bosses may go into full detail about how they overheard from somebody else that you were gossiping about them. And it could have been anybody else to let that boss know, but the person who the very same coworker, one of the coworkers who you always had a habit of going on a break went, either 15-minute break went or a lunch break went, and who you always like to gossip, make the habit out of gossiping about other coworkers or bosses too. Be mindful because, like so many other videos that I have came across, whether it may be on behalf of TikTok or YouTube, your co-workers are not your friends. Even on behalf of my people who may have formed close enough bonds with some of your co-workers, and close enough bonds to the point where you may have invited them to hang out with you, or vice versa, or you may have even went as far as inviting them over to your crib, or they may have invited you over to their crib. Never ever be so trustworthy of your very own coworkers, because they are the main ones who will stab you in the back. Even if you may try to do all you can to be, I like to call them the supervisor or manager's pets. These same people, very same people on the job who have the tendency of trying to fit in, trying to get on a boss's good side by making a habit out of buying a boss food, because it's that way on my job. Not that I have never done it, because I feel like if you had to do that just to get on a boss's good side, you might as well look for you a whole other job where you would be able to get in where you could be able to be automatically accepted and on the boss's good side automatically without having to con them. That's all it is. It's a con game. Anytime you may have that one particular coworker who may do all they can to take smoke breaks with the boss, or may go as far as trying to gossip about other people on the job with the boss, or if not that, like I just stated, may go as far as buying the boss food on a regular basis. That's all it is. It's just trying to get on the boss's good side, just trying to do all they can to be the either the boss, whether the manager or the supervisor. Well, either way it goes, they are still bosses, whether they may be the supervisor or manager, just trying to be the, might as well say, supervisor manager's pet. Just like when you were in school, you had the teacher's pet, that one particular classmate of yours who the teacher would always have run errands for them, and due to how that teacher liked that one particular classmate of yours, to the point where they will always have that very same student run errands for them. I always call on that very same student whenever they may ask the want to ask the a question, a particular question for the class, the answer. You know, when you would raise your hand when you be in class, and the teacher would want to see how knowledgeable you may have been of all the things you may have had to study for homework, and may have asked you a random question out the blue pertaining to the lesson. And out of all the people in the classroom who may have raised their hands, she may have picked, or he, most of the teachers though are females, but I digress. She may have picked always that one particular student to answer whichever question. That's the teacher's pet. Anyways, make sure to like, share, comment, and last but not least, subscribe to the channel. Till next time, I'm out, folks.